Hello, this is Lady Calamere. I am doing my 241st video. It will be on the Norse Vanir god, Njord. So we pronounce it Njord in here in the USA, but his pronunciation is Njord. The D is a soft D, DH. It would be, no, it's NJORD, but the D should be like pronounced as a DH. And the R's should be rolled. Like ruffles have ridges. So try your best to roll the R's, and if you can't, that's fine. It takes practice if it's not native to you to do that. So Njord is Vanir. He is, along with Nerthes, which they believe may have actually also been named Njord, but the Latin pronunciation Tacitus was Nerthes. So Njord, he is a god of seafaring. He deals with the sea, and yes, the Jotun lord of the sea is Aegir, but he is of the Vanir. And Njord is more approachable than Aegir, where Aegir takes, as the sea is said in that aspect. I'm not putting Aegir down, but the sea swallows up. Njord is the one to protect people from the sea when they're seafaring. So he also is a god of Njord, is a god of harvesting from the sea, such as fishing. He is a lord of plenty. He is a god who brings prosperity and the wealth of the sea. His place on the sea is basically on top where the boats are. And his hall is actually called Noatun, which means basically the home of the ships. That's his basically hall, the ship haven. So he is going to be dealing with boats and ships from the smallest to the biggest. And he protected against storms. In America we have, and in many other places, we have hurricanes, but the Vikings and pre-Vikings didn't deal with hurricanes. They dealt with vicious, deadly storms in the sea. So now in modern times, and he can be used to protect against typhoons, which is the same thing as a hurricane, but it's just typhoons in another part of the world. So he is going to be dealing with the superstorms, to protect your home, to protect your land, to protect the people from these storms, as he would protect against storms in the sea. He is, along with Nerthes, which also may have also been Njord or Njorda, but it was a Latinized name by Tacitus. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, and a feminine form of Njord. He, not with Skadi. Some people make the mistake. Skadi was his temporary wife, but they just couldn't get along. They were just from two different worlds. which I described in my presentation on Skadi. But Drew Nertha, which is believed to be his sister, which we say his sister, had two children, Hai and Freya, Ingve and Ingrid. So the Lord and Lady, that's what Frey means, Lord, and Freya means lady. So they're the divine twins, and I did a presentation on Freya, so check that out. I will do one on Frey eventually. But through Nerthas, Njord is the father of Frey and Freya. So his element is, of course, water. And his colors are going to be dealing with the oceans. What the ocean color is: blue, gray, sorry, stop it, Joker. Knock it off, baby. Blue, grays, and greens, and like the foamy white. When you think about the white foam on the ocean. So his symbols and his weapons would be the ship's oar, ships, boats. He's going to be dealing with an axe, and why I say axe is in the Great War between the Aesir and the Vanir. It was Njord who basically sunk his axe into the Asgard's door. So he's the one to embed the axe into the door during the beginning of the war. The best direction to invoke and to call upon this Lord is the western quarter. So facing west is the best. Face west is the best. His runes are Laguz and Fehu. Laguz and Fehu. So he is the patron god of the sea and of fishermen and anyone who works out in sea. He's called upon to protect the ships and the people from storms. And he's called upon to guide them so that they would not get lost at sea. To help navigate them to get to point A to point B safely. So he is the god of, you can even say, of anyone who works out in the sea. So when you think about the Marines who travel by sea, when you think about the Navy, again, those who work with our heathen and pagan ways can have a friend with Njord. Stop it. Why are you so active all of a sudden? The second I turned on this camera, the second. Stop. Jeez. Stop. So I got crazy cats. Loki and Joker decided they're gonna wake up the second I turn on the camera. So his name, ow, that hurts. He is a generous God. He's a God who shares and God who gives. He's a bountiful catch. He also helps deals with the fertility of the land and of the crops. And like I said, his hall is Noatun, meaning his hall means the ship haven or the place of ships. He did live for about 9 nights in Reimheim, which means thunder hall or powerful home, with Skadi, but he could not deal with it. He could not deal with the cold. He could not deal with the howling of the wolves. He could not deal with being high up and on a mountain in the howling winds. And Skadi could not deal in his hall, in his land, with the seagulls and the sea air and the crashing of waves. They neither had rest or relaxation with each other, so their marriage ended. As amicably though, I would say. So, how would you stop? He is, Njord is basically a derivation from the Older Norse language, which has different meanings, which could mean like strength or vigor, but it was also believed to mean blameless ruler. Now, if you believe in the stories of the histories of the Danes, he was made to be a king, an actual king of Sweden. But of course, Saxo Grammaticus, as well as Snorri Sturluson, looked upon our gods as mortals. So, of course, our gods have a history of being turned into demons, fairies, mortals, or if they're lucky, saints. However, in this way, he became a human, and that should not have been worshipped. But he's a god, not human. Anyways, Njord is he's very approachable. He is friendly. Let's get that out in the open. So I get asked, is this God, come on, approachable or not? Why do you do this? So how he shows himself and how he's how he is seen is he's seen with a beard. He's a bearded man, mature, and sometimes the face of his skin is weathered. But however, his feet are absolutely pristine, clean, and beautiful. And that's because his feet are always in the water. But his face has the effects of the sea wind. So he has a weathered face, bearded. He's a bearded man, but his feet are pristine. His children are great looking. Of course, they're a beautiful boy and a beautiful man and a beautiful woman. Frey and Freya. So I got my cat nipping on me right now. And they always do this to me. So during the story of Ragnarok, and I don't give it a lot of credibility, is that at the twilight of the gods, during the apocalypse of the deities, Njord is destined to go back to his Vanir kinsfolk. And I explained many times about why I put little stock into the story of Ragnarok. So it is just so Christianized, unfortunately. His favorite people are definitely those who build ships and those who build boats. I will add that. So those who work in the seas, the mariners, sailors, Marines and Navy SEALs, fishermen, and those who also live by the sea, and like lifeguards. They work near the water. So again, they would do what, if you're a lifeguard, you would do well to have Njord to protect you, especially against vicious predators of like sharks and that could be vicious jellyfish and riptides that can pull you out to sea. So even just going to the beach, you can ask Njord to protect you. So when there's a storm coming and approaching, you can call upon this deity to protect you. And if the storm must come, and it's going to come no matter what you do, to ask that you and your community be safe, to protect the animals and nature. He's the Lord that deals with, like I said, water. Can't understate that. He is a God to be able to change your fortune from bad to good. So he is a God of good bounty, good fortune. So if you're a beach bum, then he can also be your God. I had to throw that out because I live in Florida. And our beaches are open 365 days of the year. So things that I would not do is overconsumption of things from the sea and the ocean, littering the beach, littering the ocean, disrespecting his children, for disrespecting the earth is. It would not do you well to do that. So offerings, and some of these are going to be new. New World, rum. He seems to like rum. And that's, pick any rum. Some people have been good with giving him, it's a Kraken rum. He seems to really like that. But he does seem to enjoy a sailor's drink, which is called rum. So, he also likes seafood. So if you're having, you can offer him sushi. Again, it's not traditional, but that's some of his offerings that you can give him. Give him fresh water. Give him, like I said, fish or shellfish. Either one is good. He also, again, you can't go wrong with sweets. You definitely can't go wrong with chocolates. But rum, he has really taken a liking to. He also is fond of shells, seashells. Let me tell you something. If you see like a hermit crab shell, leave it where it is, because people all too often take shells from the beach, and then the hermit crabs have no shell when they grow out of their old shell, and then they'll end up going into a piece of plastic or a bottle cap or something, like a cap from a or piece of plastic. It's best to leave the hermit crabs and different shells on the beach where you find them. You know, just be careful how much shells you'll take. But however, that being said, give him another thing that you can give him is caviar as well as roe. So there are two different things, caviar and roe. That's another offering that you can give him. Also, dishes made with seaweed. Again, nori, which is used to wrap up sushi, you can give him. So you can give him a dish of raw fish or cooked fish. Sashimi is another idea to give him. Now, you can also take a trip to the beach or to the sea and or to the bay and get a nice little container of seawater for him and give it to him. Or, failing that, just get some water straight from your tap or spring water and put some salt in, or sea salt. You can make it as fancy as I wouldn't use black salt, but you can use Himalayan pink salt, you can use Irish gray salt. I wouldn't necessarily use the Hawaiian red salt, but you can use Mediterranean sea salt. And you can make it as special, as simple as you want. You can get some sand from the beach and, make a little layout for him. Put some shells and some seawater or sea salt there. And you can honor him. You can have a nice drink with Njord. And you two can, talk as you get drunk. I don't drink. I don't drink anymore. It's not because I'm a recovering alcoholic or anything. I just don't have a taste for it. But I do give my deities booze. So you can also give him mead. Mead is a good offering. Other than rum, mead, MEAD, which is fermented honey. MEADE is wine with honey. So either wine, especially the white wine, give him, or MEADE, which is honey, wine with honey, you can give him. So there are two different. So mead and MEAD and MEADE are two different. Now, other than that, you can give him some beer. IPAs. You can make it as fancy or simple as you want. You can give him sweet candies. And just think of like the Swedish fish. Swedish fish is a good idea. He does have a liking towards Swedish fish. Now, if you bring any of these things to the beach and the ocean, please take things out of the wrapper. And you can leave it on the beach. Be careful of littering. Don't get caught littering. But also be mindful as not polluting the place. You know what I mean? Or you can leave it lit on by the shore and let the ocean take it out. So Swedish fish is a good idea. You can have pastries and like a salmon terrine shaped like a fish. Like you can literally have buy salmon terrines that are shaped like fish and give it to him. But terrines are a good idea, like seafood. Crab cakes. Think of like something, you can make it as simple or as complicated as you want. You can give them lobster cakes, crab cakes, salmon cakes. Let's get on some ideas. Let's get some ideas. Let me give you some ideas. Crab legs. You can go to McDonald's and get him a fish fillet of fish. You can go to Burger King and get some seafood. And again, it doesn't have to be costly. You can get him breaded fish and bake it in the oven and give it to him. So you can make a nice seafood dip for him. Other ideas would be like smoked salmon. That's a good idea. So he does like smoked fish. So this is just some ideas. I like to make crab pizza, but I've never heard of anyone giving them crab pizza. That would probably be something new. Maybe someone did already. If you give them crab pizza or lobster pizza, let me know, because I do eat lobster pizza from once in a while. Crawfish boil. Crawfish tails. You can make him a Louisiana gumbo with the shrimp cocktail. So those are just some good ideas. So how did Skadi and Njord become married? Well, this was all due to, Loki and the gods going, and they killed the Aussie, Skadi's father, and when she found out, when she waited for about, I think it was 9 days for her father to come home, and she realized he wasn't coming home, she got her best armor, she got her best weapons, and she demanded Rargil. And her demands were, she wanted her father to be remembered, which Odin did through his, I believe it was his eyes into where he was made into a constellation. Then she was made to laugh, which Loki fulfilled, and she wanted a husband, and she was eyeing Balder. That's who she wanted. But the gods were like, yeah, we don't really want to marry Balder to her. So what we're going to do is you can choose your husband by their feet. So they were hiding behind a curtain. All their feet were shown, and some of the feet were either clubbed, or they had calluses, or their feet were, like their toes were just not perfect. But the most perfect feet that she saw, and she thought had to be Balder, because he was the gorgeous of the gods. She chose the one with the perfect feet. And she said, I choose those. And Njord appeared out from the curtain with a big old smile on her face. And she was pretty upset with that. But she accepted, because rules are rules, But it didn't last very long. And I did do a presentation on Balder. So if you want to look that up, go look up my channel and you'll find it. But that's how they became husband and wife. So now Njord is one of the hostages of the Aesir. See, after the Great War between the Vanir and the Aesir, they decided for best for both sides is to make a truce. But to make sure there will be never any war would be a parley, meaning you get some of our worthy people, our gods, and we'll give you some of our gods. So, and Njord was very respected among the Aesir. They treated him perfectly, and he was given he was given a place of respect and treated very well, as a Vanir treated the Aesir very well. But if the war was ever to break up again, well, then the hostages, in quotation, they'll be dealt with. So this is to ensure there would be no war, no fight, and that there will be peace forevermore between the hostages, or parley. So they were free to come and go. They were free to do what they want, as if they were at their own side of the fence. But on to more Njord. So if you're looking for a job working with the sea, or to be maybe you want to be a Navy SEAL, the Njord is your god. Looking for wealth? Well, he's your god. Looking for a good opportunity in life? He's your god. He also deals with luck, so he can also be used for gambling. Gamble responsibly. If you want to be able to work on a ship or build ship, maybe just a model ship, or build your own, boat, from a simple canoe to helping build a cruise ship, he's your god. If you are going on a cruise ship, he's your god. If you work on a cruise ship, whether you're a chef, you could be just a chef or a cook or a waitress on a cruise ship, well, he's your god. Maybe you're just, scuba diving, or you're a scuba instructor. Well, then he's your god to talk to. If you're looking for sunken treasure, or looking for sunken ships, just for historical things, or maybe for a TV show, he's your god. If you are someone who is protecting the whales and the dolphins, and you are out in the sea, well, he is your god to protect you and to help protect those animals. You can call Njord to let you be successful in protecting, say, the seals, sea lions, dolphins, porpoises, endangered fish species, to protect the sharks that we need to protect. He is your god. Unfortunately, some people will go on ships to basically kill sharks just for their friggin' fins, and I am so against it. I will never. Once I became aware of the plight of the sharks, because when back in the 80s, you think that the shark fins and the cartilage, you thought, well, you got the cartilage from the sharks and you use the shark meat. Oh, no. They just cut off the fins and they throw all that good meat back into the ocean, where they die a horrible death. Nope, no cartilage for me anymore. So, once I became aware of it, nope, never again. So he is also could be used to help finding missing people in the ocean. To go on an SOS call for a sunken ship, or if you got a case of pirates, and you get that call, especially a tango call. Yeah. So anything to do with the ships or the harbor or the sea line, he is your god. So if you work in a lighthouse, again, Njord is your god. Are you getting the idea of what he's useful for? So he's not only used to protect others and animals, but to protect you as well. So if there's a storm and you're out in the ship and there's no way to get out of it, he can be used to call to help you. So you also have aircraft that can land on the sea. And once you go onto his domain, whether it's a helicopter or a plane, it doesn't matter. He's going to deal with that territory and he can help you. So maybe you're doing a nature video and you're out filming in the sea. Again, he's a good god to call upon. He is very powerful. He is a very wonderful God to call upon. He is good for anyone. And you don't have to, fear him. Another thing that he likes is rosemary. He does like rosemary. And you can also offer him sea salt. Make sure it's sea when you offer him salt, it's just not just table salt, that is sea salt. And at this point, when I said, don't offer him black salt in the water, you can offer him black Himalayan. You can offer him Himalayan, Tibetan black salt. You can offer him Hawaiian salt. You can give him like a whole thing of salts. You can go, there's some stores that will sell exotic salts like Australian sea salt, which is a very extremely light, airy salt. You can just give him a whole bunch of little containers filled with salt as a gift, and he will enjoy it. Like red salt, black salt, gray salt, white salt, pink salt. He will seriously, he will enjoy it. So you can make it as gourmet or as simple as you want. Fishing gear is an idea. Model ships and model boats is also an idea. Sea nets is an idea to put, but be careful with cats and stuff. So fishing gear, again, be careful with cats and dogs and children. Make sure you don't have a hook on it. I can tell you a nightmare story of what happened to someone's cat. They climbed up a fishing pole and she got her paw caught in the hook, and she had to be taken to emergency vet and have a surgical procedure where she had to get the fishing hook taken out of her paw. So do not leave a fishing hook on your fishing pole. It is not good for your animals and it's not good for your children. Okay, it's very irresponsible. And it wasn't my friend's fault because it was their roommate. So, yeah. So fishing gear, any thing that you find in the ocean, but always be grateful for what treasure you find in the ocean. If you find a nice ring or a nice coin, give something back as a gift if you can. Even if you don't even have anything, even if it's just water from your bottle, pour it into the ocean and give thanks, give praise for that, because that's very fortuitous indeed to find jewelry or to even find money washing off or coins. So anything to do, if you're a naval officer and you're retired, you can put your medals there if you want. Anything to do with that. So but do please be careful with fishing poles. So he is a very good one to deal with. So he is a god of guidance. He is a god. He is basically someone that will help you find a way in a sea of problems, or an ocean of problems. He can help you with your when you are feeling depressed or when you're feeling sad again. Always go to a doctor. So if you feel like you're just being pulled down into an ocean of problems, he is the God to help. He is your life vest. He will protect you. He is your floating gear. He will help you float during these problems. He's a good one to help you when you feel like you're sinking in life. He is also another one. He's also a God to bring people together. So when there's a problem, he can bring people together. He can help people come to the table and reason with each other. So he can help you rekindle a relationship. He can help you come to, a solution to a problem. So he can bring people together. So if there's a problem, he can bring people to reach a compromise, especially during heated situation. He's very wise. He's very foreseeing. He is open-handed, meaning he gives, and he can be very gentle in a situation. But remember, he is also a warrior, because he is the one, when he was fighting against the Assyr, he was the one to bury the axe right into the door of Asgard. So he can help you in your endeavors in life. He can help you during times of pain, and when you are hurting, when you're crying a tear, when you are crying an ocean of tears, he can help you. He can really, really help be a good counselor. So that's something to keep in mind about this God, because some people don't even talk about that situation. So he can help bring families together. So if you're trying to work on marriage counseling and keeping, two husbands together, two wives together, a husband and wife together, he's the good God for that. Other things about him, he can also deals with the shipyard. I know his home is Norton, but he also deals with a shipyard. So you can ask this god to protect your yacht, your sailboat, and keep it safe from burglars, keep it safe from storms, if at all possible. Uh, what else do I want to say about him? He loves the songs of swans. He loves sea. Another thing that people forget, oh, he only deals with mammals and fish in the sea. He also deals with the birds. He deals with pelicans. He deals with the seagulls. He also loves the songs of swans, because even in the poem, when he was talking about why he didn't like living in Thrymheim, because he did not like the mountains. He did not feel he belonged there. Only 9 nights he stayed there. He could not stand the howling of the wolves. They sounded horrible, and they were just on his last nerves, and he longed for the songs of the swans. And I don't remember it word for word, but I know as the Skadi responds, I could not sleep because of all the because of the seabeds, the waves were keeping, like, seasickness, and the screeching of the damn birds, and the and she could not stand it. The sea, the scent of the smell of the sea, the smell of the fish and the sea. That sea smell. She could not. It made her violently ill. It was just, well, I wouldn't say violently ill, but it just made her. Yeah. He loves the sea smell. He loves the smell of the beach, and he loves. So he's also about protecting seagulls and pelicans and swans and any birds that are dealing with or around the sea or the oceans. So now, according to Ragnarok, in Vanaheim, it says the powers that be, the wise powers that made him and gave him as a parlay to the gods. At the doom of men in the twilight of the gods, he will come back home among all the Vanir. And that's on the Poetic Edda. That's where you can find it in stanza, I believe, 39. Stanza 39 is where you can find it. And in stanza in the I can't remember, the Grimnin smell describes how Njord, the god, built his hall in Norton, and how he is a great prince among humans, and that he is not malicious. But again, that's turning him into a human and not a god. Now, there was verbal exchanges between Loki and Njord in the Lokasena poem, and I almost forgot this, where Njord responds to the verbal jest. That it's basically an epic rap battle of Nordic history, the Loki Senna, and you know how they put each other down with a rap battle. Well, basically, Njord responds to Loki that that's harmless if besides a husband. Basically, Loki responds to, because Loki mocks Freya. He mocks Freya and he gets mad about her dubious parentage, that basically Nerthus and Njord were having sex and they were brother and sister. And basically, sorry, it was Loki calling him that, a pervert. Njord now, Njord responds, well, that's my reward. And that I was sent to the hostages among the gods. I'm sorry, I got a little bit confused. So it was Loki calling him a pervert and calling his sister a pervert and basically calling Freya and Frey perverted because they were brother and sister having sex, just like mother and father before them. And that that Nerthus bore Freya and Frey through incest. Well, Njord just responds, well, that was my reward. And that I was sent to the Aesir as parlayed with a hostage, and that I fathered a son, whom no one hates, and is considered among princely among the Aesir. So that's what Njord said. Sorry if I got a little bit again, I don't, this proves that I don't use notes or scripts or anything. So we also see Njord in the Gylfaginning, where he's described as Njord living among the heavenly Noatan. And Har, who Har, is described as high and one-eyed. Who can that be? And is an important figure. And one of the many, many, many titles of guess who it is? The one-eyed, the high one, Odin. And Har mentions that Njord controls the movement of all the winds and can literally direct sea, as well as his secondary element, which I forgot to mention, is fire. So Njord can direct sea as well as fire. Sea as well as fire. Again, in the this is in the Prose Edda of the Gylfaginning, chapter 23. And he tells about how this god's power deals with fishing and seafaring, and that he can make one through those things wealthy and prosperous. And that he's will help one who is seeking his help and petitioning him with help in seeking land as well as money. To seek land as well as money. To seek the land as well as money. So get that. So yeah, I repeat a little bit, but that's how I teach and that's how I learn. So again, go back to your notes and put down secondary element is fire that he can help with. But his main element is definitely water. And again, to call him from the west. And I almost forgot to mention those things from the Prose Edda. I would have had to put it in the notes and comments actually section of this video, and sometimes I've actually had to do that. So this is a statue that I got of him. Here it is. Let's go look at this statue, and I got it a while back on Amazon before I actually moved to this house. And look at the ship. You see, on the high waves, and it looks like it's going to be overtaken, and the ship is going to tip over. You see the people in the ship, and the Viking longship, and here he is, protecting him. and he's using his oar. And you see he has a knife, a nice dagger there, and he has his pouch here, and he has his name here. I should have had the flash on. I thought I did. I'm sorry, but I think you could see his name here. Sorry I didn't have the flash there, but you can see his bearded, and he has a weathered face. And you see how he's protecting people from that huge wave that would have overtaken him and drowned everyone at sea. And then they will be with Haran and Njord. But he protects them from that fate. So whenever you feel like you're drowning in a situation, call upon this God. So if you are in trouble in the ocean, of course, get help, as you know, but feel free to pray your ass off to Njord to protect you. Or if you're in a storm, literally a storm at sea, you know, and you're waiting for help, feel free to ask this God not to allow the ship to sink. And if it does, to get you help immediately. Get onto a life raft, get on life vest or floating devices. So whether you're just taking a day cruise or traveling across the world on a ship, feel free to call upon this God to let everything go well. So anyways, I do hope you enjoyed this presentation. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel, because it lets me know I'm doing well, and that's the currency I'm looking for you to give me a like and a subscribe. I don't have a Patreon account, so whatever money you are going to give to me, give to another in need. So if you were going to give me $10 and you see someone, you know, struggling, give them the $10 and give it to a charity, especially to a charity that deals with protecting sharks, protecting dolphins, protecting aquatic life, and to protect our oceans. So also what I ask is that even if you see this video in 10 years, ask for good luck for me. Ask for prosperity. Light your candles, do your rituals, send protection towards me and my animals, and good wealth and good success and good luck. I'll accept that as payment. Like I said, I do these videos for free. And thank you so much for watching. Please do share my video with others. And the more, every time you watch this video, it changes the algorithm. So that really helps me too, because I can see how many times this video, all my videos were watched and liked. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. And as always, blessed be.